Okay, good day, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're watching this. Welcome to another BuildHub BuildHub session. And today we'll be going over two things, right? We'll be going over tuples and dictionaries and loops in Python, which are your for and while loops. So to start off quickly, what are tuples? Now, tuples are a type of collection in Python. Of course, we know we have five collections: lists, tuples, sets, dictionaries. Okay, four. Four. Lists, tuples, sets, dictionaries. But for now, we'll just be looking at lists, tuples, and dictionaries. Okay, so what is a tuple? Well, if we remember, a list is just an ordered collection or an ordered collection of items, something like this, denoted by square brackets. So lists and tuples are very similar, except lists are rather tuples are denoted by parentheses, not square brackets. Okay, but everything else is virtually the same. They are accessed the same way, like all collections are accessed the same way. They have the same they have the same methods, but there's one key difference I would like to point out. So let's say we have a tuple. Let's call it my tuple, and we set this to a tuple bearing four numbers. Now, what if we try to change the value of, let's say, the first index, which is 1? Let's say we wanted to change it to the string 1. What does this give us? See, if we try to run it, here's what we get. We get an error, a type error. So I want you to note that down. A type error telling us that the tuple object does not support item assignment. So simply put, a tuple is what we call immutable. Immutable meaning we cannot change it. That's basically what immutable means. Lists are mutable because we can change the value of an item of a list, or we can change basically the entire list after we've created it. But a tuple is immutable in the sense that once you have created it, it cannot be changed. That's the main difference, or rather the only difference between a list and a tuple. Now, when do we use a tuple? What's the use of a tuple? A tuple is simply used when we want to store data in our program that we do not want to change accidentally throughout the program, or we know that it shouldn't be changed, that we know it's going to be constant. So it's a way of setting constant values, yeah, or constant collections in Python. So that's basically what a tuple is. It's an immutable ordered collection of items, similar to a list, but there's a key difference, which I said it is immutable. So what else? Keep in mind the same methods we outlined, the same operations we outlined in lists still apply to tuples. So I don't think I'll need to go over that. Now let's quickly go into for and while loops, or rather, let's go into dictionaries. Now let's quickly go into dictionaries. Now, what are dictionaries? I would like you to think of dictionaries in Python as key value pairs. So let's take an example. If they were to ask me what my name was, I would say my name is Toby. So the key is my name, and the value of that key, which is my name, is Toby. So you can say the key is name and the value is Toby. Now, for a single person, you could have many of these key value pairs. For example, you could have your key as age, that means the person's age, and then the value as, let's say, 25. That's another key value pair. So it might be stressful trying to store this in something like a list, or trying to store this in separate lists, even though it's referring to just one person. And if we were to store it in a list as, let's say a person is equal to, let's say, the name, let's call it Toby, and let's say the age is 25. This is not very descriptive. Of course, you know that this is a person and you're talking about the name and the age, but you do not really know it. There's nothing pointing to that. So to answer this problem, in Python, we have what we call dictionaries. So dictionaries are simply denoted by curly braces. So keep that in mind. Curly braces. Let me bring what we did back, so I'll show you how we represent it in dictionaries. So dictionaries are simply represented by curly braces. Then within these curly braces, we put in key value pairs. So our first key value pair, let's try and represent what we have here. So our first key is name, right? And then each key value pair is separated by, or rather, the key and a value. A key and its value is separated by a colon. Then we put in the value by the right side. So it's key on the left side, value on the right side. Then if you want to put another key value pair, we put a comma, and then we put the next one. So the next one would be age. and its value would be 25. You could put as many as you want, and if you notice, we have different data types. So your values can be any data type, basically any data type you want. So you could say gender, and you could say male. So it's as simple as that. That's basically dictionaries in Python. But how would you access a dictionary, or rather how would you access a dictionary item? We can, or rather, how would you access a singular item or element or key value pair in a dictionary? So if you want to access the value of a key, you use the same indexing syntax. So the name of the dictionary, then in square brackets, beautiful, you have all the keys. Python does that automatically, or rather VS Code does that automatically for me. So if you wanted to access my age, you would just pass age into the brackets, and that would access its value. So this variable, or this line or statement, is holding the variable 25. So if we print it, we should get 25. Beautiful, we have 25. So now we've gone over accessing a particular key or a particular value in a dictionary. Let's look at how we can change one. So this syntax is very similar. It's very similar to what we have in lists. So if we wanted to change the value, we just, instead of passing the index, we pass the key for that particular value. And let's say I aged +1. So I will just say my age is 26. And here we have changed the value, right? We have changed the value of that key. So let's see if we can print that. Beautiful. So if we look at our dictionary, here we change the value of the age key, and now if we notice, our age is 26, no longer 25. So that's one way you can change it. But if you wanted to add a new item to a dictionary, there's another way to, there are two ways to do it, rather. There are two ways to do it, just like in, or rather, yeah, there are two ways to do it with dictionaries. So how do we do that? We simply put the name of the dictionary, then the new key value pair we want to create, we simply put the key into brackets. So let's say we wanted to add a favorite food key value pair. So this is our key favorite food, and then its value, let's say ice cream. So we've created another key value pair. So now let's print this. I think this will create it twice. I should have printed it the first time. But yeah, let's print this. So if you notice, this was what the dictionary was before, and then we've created a new key value pair, which is favorite food ice cream, and now it's in the dictionary. So simply put, if you pass a key that doesn't exist into square brackets next to the name of a dictionary and then pass a value, it automatically creates that key and assigns it that value. That's basically what it means. That's one way to create a new key value pair in a dictionary. Another way is to use the update method, but the update method might seem a little bit tricky, but I would cover it. So update, then into brackets, if you notice, into brackets here we pass a dictionary of of the new key value pair we want. So the same thing, let's see if we can add let's see if we can add another key value pair. Let's call it favorite animal. And then this would be, say, dog. So the only difference here is the syntax for this is we're passing a new dictionary with the key value pairs we want. It's like we're adding this dictionary to our existing dictionary. So all it does is it doesn't really create a new dictionary per se. It just adds the key value pair for that particular dictionary. So if we look at it, let's print it again after we've added it. Beautiful. It does that. It's as simple as that. So yeah, now we have our key value pair of favorite animal as dog. So all it did was it didn't add a new dictionary, it just added the key value pairs within that dictionary to our existing dictionary. So basically that's tuples and dictionaries in Python. That's basically what you can do with them. But let's look at how to delete a key value pair from a dictionary. So now that we've created a key value pair called favorite animal, how do we delete it? Well, you can use the delete keyword. So that would be delete. So here we just pass the name of the dictionary and then the key we want to delete. So if you notice, we created the key here. So after this, once this runs, it will delete this key, and then let's print it. So if you notice, we have three print statements here. The first one giving us our initial dictionary, the second one giving our dictionary after we update it, and the third one giving our dictionary after we deleted what we needed to delete. So here we deleted the key and the value for favorite animal. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, that's a basic overview of tuples and dictionaries. As always, you can read further, but this is just an introduction to that and how they work.